people never heard of this and never like they never heard of the opportunities of building wealth or generational wealth. So one, to me, it's like insurance is out there. Like if you want to buy life insurance, it's out there. You go ahead and buy it. That's the information that's not going to be handed to you. Earlier, beginning of this talk, I mentioned that some information that will personally benefit you is not given to you for free. You have to seek it. You have to seek that information. You, if you want, when your member of your family dies or passed away, if you want like get something out of that, you got to get life insurance. You got to put them in life insurance. They got to purchase life insurance. Life insurance can be as low as literally $5 a month. I believe that a lot of people can afford it.
Go ahead.
That's that. Two, you don't need to follow the rules. Like even this TikToker, she mentioned that they followed the rules. You don't need to follow rules that were set for you. This is what I truly believe. The people who created the rules, it doesn't apply to them. When you follow rules blindly and you're like, because you're oblivious to the world around you, you have no one else to blame but yourself, because you are oblivious to the world around you. You're following rules that were created for you to follow. You need to do your due diligence. You need to find out how does this rule benefit me? I'm not saying break the law and anything like that, but any rule that was made for you, you need to question it. You need to analyze it, see how it benefits you, and also always follow the money. Who is this rule benefiting? Who implemented this rule? Always remember, the people who are making the rules, they are in a room that you're not in. So the people who create the rules, they don't follow the rules because they are creating for other people. So anytime you're following a rule, ask yourself, does this rule benefit me or it benefits the people who created it? That's rule number one. Okay. Rule number two, seek out the information. There are ways to build wealth, generational wealth, long-term wealth, play the long game. Life is going to be much easier. Nobody's saying that it's going to be easy, but you have to be strategic. You have to use whatever resources that are available to you, books, knowledge that you pay for, hearing from people that have done what you want to do. And it's all about stretching yourself. Maybe you stretch yourself short amount of time, but myself as an immigrant who came to America, I had to pull myself through the bootstrap. Like I had to seek knowledge that wasn't easily available to me. I had to pay. Like there were times that I remember I had to choose to pay to go to a conference versus like having extra money to go to shopping. Okay. I had to make that choice. There were times that I would just like eat one meal a day so I can save money to seek knowledge. You have to, in this world, you have to prioritize the knowledge that's not giving to you. The knowledge, anytime a knowledge you see it on TV, someone wants to teach you, it's just out there, it's going to cost you in different way. It might not cost you monetarily, but it will cost you other things. So you want to be aware what kind of rules you're following, what kind of information you're receiving. And I honestly believe that we all have the ability to create the life we want. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But if you follow rules that are created in this world, remember, life is going to be hard for you. And honestly, you have no one else to blame but yourself. That's how I see it. To me, we have so much power as humans. You can create the life you desire. And I'm not saying it's easy. Through the process of creating that life, you might be homeless. You might not have a job. You might lose everything. You might even lose parts of yourself. You might even lose your psyche. But remember, like TikTok, a lot of people, when California fires were happening, they were writing, eat the rich, eat the rich. People have so much hate towards people who have money that like nothing. If you hate something, it's not going to come to you. If you hate money and you associate money with evil, it's going to be hard for you to have money. Also, remember, people in the world, they pay different price to have what they have. And you just have to pay a different price. That's where I'm at. I don't really sympathize with anyone who's complaining about how their life hard life is, because to me it's like, okay, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do if life is hard?
You, what's interesting is that argument is the argument that is really pissing people off, because that's an argument that didn't work. That argument is actually becoming more and more obsolete, because the bottom line is information is power. Information is power. It was a Reagan that said he was told, Mr. President, did you know there are at the time 700,000 Americans are homeless? And he said that couldn't be. And they said, well, that is the case. And he said, well, there must be an information problem, because there's no way, if they had all the information they needed, that they would be poor. So information, first and foremost, is power. And there are powers, people who, first of all, a lot of the people who use, I actually, work hard and did all the right things. And, I had a little bit of loan here, and my mother gave me a couple of hundred, and I stretched that money. A lot of it is lies. 60% of the wealthiest people in the world inherit their money. 60% of the richest people in the world. So they didn't, grab themselves from the bootstrap. Not very many people actually do. And secondly, as a person who is, you were told the information you were giving, people are following the information that they were given. It takes time for you to sit back and recalculate and recalibrate and re-strategize. Everything we know, you and I, right now, it's not like we knew 10, 15 years ago. These things take time. A lot of the people who are asking these questions right now are young people, and they probably will not follow the rules without breaking the law the same way, but these things take time. And people have the right to be angry when 60% of the California water is controlled by one single family. You telling me they deserve that? No, they didn't deserve that. They didn't deserve that. They are actually, I actually know their daughter invited me to California, to Los Angeles once. We had a dinner when I was running the organization, Eat with Muslims. A lovely, lovely lady. This family, a Zionist family, who give a lot of money to the IDF, and also spend a lot of money basically lobbying to control the water. This is natural resources that belongs to everyone.
Right. And a lot of people are just finding out that's the case.
And people have the right to be mad at people like that. People have the right to be mad at people like Elon Musk, who his father owned and operated a mine, copper mine in South Africa, conditioning South Africans into life of poverty and hell. And then he brings that money here, goes to some of the best schools here. And it's not like because he's smart, he got to where he is. It's because he used a lot of smart people, because he had money already. Okay. So a lot of these people come from money. None of them, very few people are, are people who actually started from scratch. There aren't too many people who did not actually take advantage of people that got to where they are. So there's no question about the fact that America is the land of opportunities. There are plenty of opportunities, but these opportunities, it takes time for people to realize, and how do I get to where I'm going? And instead of just taking the beaten path, and just keep going on the same road that has got me nowhere. So a lot of this nonsense that people talk about, everybody has the right to be, everybody, yes, has the right to be, to at least a country that is as rich as our country, possibly the wealthiest nation in the world. People should have certain things that they shouldn't have to worry about. You shouldn't worry about being homeless and being one paycheck away from being homeless with children. You shouldn't worry about, if you get sick, should you pay your rent, or should you seek help because you're sick? Because people do get sick. and that's not something you can control. People shouldn't worry about whether they should buy medicine or eat a second meal. This is not what we pride on ourselves. This is America, the land of the free, the most powerful nation in the world, the richest nation in the world. And you judge a nation and judge people not by what they have, not by the might of their military, but by how they treat their vulnerable people. Right now, last year alone, when the richest people in the world added, in America alone, $1 trillion to their wealth, we added 24% to homelessness. Okay, Elon Musk alone added 140 billion to his wealth. Do you think he worked for it? No, he didn't. This was stocks alone.
Exactly. So who's stopping the average person purchasing a stock?
It's definitely not fair. The system is broken, and rich people like that get actually welfare. Did you know that they get welfare? They get corporate welfare. Mm-hmm. We're not willing to.
They're not playing by the rules. That's exactly what it
is. We let our people rot on the streets. Yet we give 4 billion here, 10 billion there, 9 billion here to the richest people in the world. That is disgusting and despicable, if you ask me. Can we show one more video?
Yes.
Okay, and then you can take it from there. By the way, a lot of these people, a lot of these young Americans are finding out that in China, because it's a communist nation, 90% of the people actually own their homes. Whatever space they're living in, they own their homes. They're finding out that healthcare is free, is right. They're finding out that a lot of these people don't work 40 hours or less, and they can afford their mortgage. They can afford their rent. Life is too damn short. Instead of hoarding money that you will never spend, you need to stop taking advantage of everyday people. Here's this
young they are paying the price in a different way.
They're not paying the price. This is what we were told. This is what we were told. It's a very peaceful nation. It's a beautiful land, beautiful buildings.
And why do they come to America to buy businesses and build lands and build
because a lot of times people who come here are people that have money. They own 40% of our infrastructure and buildings and real estate. So they bring you. When you have money, you go where money is. A lot of ordinary people. A lot of ordinary people.
I literally have it on do not disturb, but it's gonna come through. Let me see. This is ridiculous.
Okay, I'm gonna have this one.
And the Biden administration have no idea what an economic boost this has been for Americans, how life-changing this has been for Americans. No, they know. They're not dumb. They don't like it. You really think late-stage capitalism is just about free markets and making money, but they're banning TikTok? Banning a literal sub-economy and an economy boost in the middle of a recession? Going back to the fact that if America or if someone in America had wanted to do what TikTok is doing by giving money back to put money back in, that works. That works. Nobody's losing out from the creator fund. Nobody loses. TikTok wins. We win. America wants us to be fucking poor. No, they want to compete with TikTok, but they're not going to monetize like that. They want us to be so tired at our 9-to-5s, at our 70+ hour week jobs, at our 2 jobs, at our 3 jobs. They want us to be so tired that we don't have any time to pay attention to what they're talking about in Congress. They do not like how many influencers there are. I guarantee you, they don't like the class of people that can be an influencer and make a lot of money right now. They hate it. God forbid the American people actually have an easy way to make a side hustle that isn't one of the backbreaking options that I just listed. God forbid there's actually a way to make some side money and make our lives a little better. They don't want our lives to be better. The last thing they ever want is to see us happy and successful, because their success hinges on us being miserable, poor, tired, way too tired to look up, way too tired to get on Red Note and see the quality of life in China. This whole situation has not woken you up to the fact that it is literally rich versus poor. It is literally everyone in the U.S. government and the top 1% versus us. It is not Democrat versus Republican. I don't know what.
Before you get started, I'll say one thing. If rich
I mean, you
people,
said a lot of things, so I can't remember where to
yeah,
start.
if rich people don't want to be hated, then they shouldn't take advantage of situations and like hoarding water. Okay, go ahead.
I think it's just like so now just to go back to that point, hoarding water. People didn't even know this was the case in California.
Well, now they know.
Nobody knew this was it. Like who? Like one family, a couple, not even a family. Like I mean, a couple own California's water. Like how ridiculous that sound? That sounds. And the other thing is
that's what greed does.
That's what greed does. If you don't have anyone checks and balances, okay, people, I honestly feel like we, the civilians, the residents of that state, the residents of the United States, need to be informed, need to stay informed about what's going on, because nobody knew. Like people are shocked. They're sharing on TikTok that they didn't even know this was the case, because we always think that the water is owned by the government. Even here, like my house, we have a water bill every month, and I'm thinking like, oh, I'm making this payment, so now I have to look into that. And I understand a lot of people are like me. We weren't aware who actually owns the water, like who owns the water. But that's where we fall short. Like we are just dealing with it. And she said, I agree with her point, that like when you are working that many hours, you're too preoccupied to like look into anything else. And that's why they want us to work. So one of the rules is to keep you busy. When they keep you busy trying to survive, you don't even tap into your own power. You don't tap into other potentials that are available to you. Just like Elon Musk, I was gonna say, like all the politicians, no politician only makes the money that they get from their salary. They all have investment. They all invest in stocks. There's actually an app where you can look into like what companies are like, what stocks the politicians are purchasing. That's indication to you that, okay, they're going to implement this type of policy. That's why they're buying this stock. So like you have to find that information. You got it. This is what I mean when I say don't follow the rules. If you follow the rules, if you do everything by the book, if you're not taking out loans, if you're not using these banks, if you're not using the government grants, if you're not using government contracts, you're going to fall behind in life. If you're not using the people who choose to spend all their money on like purchasing, they are consumers, they're constantly buying stuff, have things to sell. Like to me, I honestly believe it might take longer, but everyone has a chance to create something. Even if you create something today and you might not benefit from it, but like you said, a lot of the wealthy people, 60% of the wealthy people, they didn't create this wealth from scratch themselves. They got it. But someone down the line made a sacrifice. They chose to find that information, implement it. They might have taken advantage of a few people to achieve that goal. But you know what? If someone is willing to work for you and bring your ideas into fruition for little money and comfort, this whole 9 to 5 that's what it is. It's an illusion. It gives you comfort, like you have this income coming in, but you're still struggling with paying your bills, buying the foods that are like have less chemicals. You're putting yourself in that position. Why can't you like even invest in like stocks, $20, instead of buying stuff, like being so consumed with purchasing things? Invest some of your money in the stock market. Invest your money in like some of those even companies that like politicians are investing in. You don't even have to do long-term investment. You can just like really follow where the money is. Follow certain politicians that are really known to like purchase big stocks, and just look what stocks they're buying every month. Commit to like buying just even like few hundreds, couple of hundreds, even if you can't afford it, just a couple of hundreds, 100 even. I honestly, Fathia, and your viewers and anyone watching, I truly, truly believe, I know this world is not perfect. I can't expect it to be a perfect world. But I also believe in us. I believe in us humans. I believe in us, those of us with less advantages that aren't from money, that aren't like, getting the support that they could use. We have responsibilities to ourselves to do whatever it takes without breaking the law, but breaking the rules that were made for you to follow. Like go work, come home, you're exhausted, watch television, you're being programmed anytime you're watching TV. You eat your chemicalized food, you go to sleep, you wake up, that's honestly someone who lives that kind of lifestyle.